today with professional actor Sean Hauk. Sean will be joining us again with some songs for Brantford Presents Take 3. Welcome, Sean.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us again, Sean. So was Brantford Presents Take 2 your first online performance, or have you done online performances before? What is it like?
I gotta say, it was my first one, and very similar to what some of the other people have been saying. It really did create the butterflies, because I was like, it's just whatever. It's not going to create those butterflies and that nervous energy. And then as I was getting ready, I was like, whoa, my mouth is dry. I'm nervous. Yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Sean, has the whole lockdown with COVID-19, has that affected both your day-to-day work and your musical theater work?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically my work is non-existent now in both those venues. So yeah, it definitely has affected. We shut down our clinic, Holistic Healing Arts, even before the order was given to shut everything down. So I said, well, you know what? I don't know how long it's going to last. So I went to Edmonton and hung out with my brother and my niece and my sister-in-law for 2 weeks. And yeah, now coming back, and then came back, and it was just like, wow, there's just nothing to do. It's weird. It is very weird. You have all these hours in the day. And I think just the last week or so, I've decided, okay, I'm going to make something of these hours now. But the first few weeks was just winning Netflix.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
What does the future of musical theater look like to you under these conditions, if these conditions do persist?
I don't know, because it's not to be deep and foreboding, but it is kind of grim. I mean, there is something when you do live theater, as much as for the performers, it's a little nerve-wracking. There is an energy that is exchanged between an audience and a performer when they're in the same space. There is this fourth energy or something that is inexplicable, and I don't think it's really hard to experience that online. So I mean, I really do hope that they, whether I was reading the other day that they're talking about for concerts doing a top half spacesuit or something so people can go to concerts. Yeah. So I'm even if it's that, I mean, hopefully it doesn't make a lot of noise when it rustles and stuff. But, if that's what it becomes, that's what it becomes, or if we're doing socially distanced, or if everybody has to wear an N95 mask, and then we can have more than 50 or 60 people in a space. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to be evolving with it, I guess, as it happens. And as we're given our guideposts, we'll figure it out.
Sean, has your experience performing online for Brantford Presents, has that kind of inspired you in terms of your own theater company that you have, Triple Threat Productions?
I don't because, well, my stuff is it's musical comedy, so I don't know how well that translates to being done online. It's, I like to work with other people, and that's kind of difficult to do during this. So again, I don't know how I would how we would address this, but I know that it did make me go, you know what, I got to start writing again, and I've got to start doing something useful in that aspect, and I'm going to start putting some footage, new and old, on YouTube and stuff. So yeah, it just made me realize, what you do, regardless of even when I switched from being a professional musical theater performer to being a manual osteopath, I still needed that outlet in some way. And right now it seems like that online is going to be that outlet for at least a while. So I'm going to start, doing stuff for that.
How important do you think is musical theater to a community?
Cool. I think it's absolutely vital to our society, and if we look through history, we see that there was some kind of storyteller, some kind of minstrel throughout. I mean, even during caveman days, there was someone telling stories, guaranteed. It's something that is absolutely important, and we all have that in some way in every community through history. And I think that artists in general, we bring the community together, telling these stories and sharing these songs and sharing these messages, some of hope and telling these folk tales, because everybody wants to be in the same area and have something in common with everybody else. And I think that theater does that. I mean, there's a reason that the radio's on all the time, because people crave music. They crave hearing that. There's a reason that people are winning Netflix right now, because they crave those stories. They crave we crave entertainment in some aspect or another, and so it's absolutely vital for a community.
Great. Yeah. So, Sean, you have a sort of traditional story of an artist from Brantford who got training, moved away, did their professional theater career, and is now back in Brantford. So why do you think it is important for artists in this community to be paid for their work in this community?
I think that by getting paid, even if it's just a little something, it marks your worth as a performer, and it's like you're like, whoa, okay, this is not just something that I do for fun. This is something I'm putting myself out there, because it really is. I mean, there's some people that are terrified of speaking in public. Well, that's what we do as artists. That's what we do as actors. That's what we do as singers. We're in front of people and we're sharing a part, even though we're singing someone else's songs or our own songs, but we're sharing part of our soul. And that's really hard. There's some people that would rather jump out of a plane than speak in front of a crowd. So when you're paid for it, it reflects on what society values it as that it's worth. I remember the first time I got paid for something, I just felt so much joy, because I was like, wow, I'm worth this, And a lot of time, like I did a lot of shows, and they were just like, oh yeah, just do it for the exposure. A lot of like charity shows, singing and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we can't pay you. And then it got to the point where, I mean, as I got older and jaded, I went, oh, so what do you do for a living? They're like, oh, I'm an accountant. I'm like, okay, well, do my taxes for free then. And it's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, you went to school for accounting, right? Yeah. How much do you spend on your education? Yeah, well, I spent about that much on my education. So why don't you want to pay me? It just, I don't know. It's a question that because a lot of people think that we love to do this, and we do, that we should do it for free. And we shouldn't. We're all trying to make a living. We're all trying to, do that. I mean, even in like going back to the ancient village times and stuff, like people would buy drinks for the troubadour, and they would buy, they would help out with the storyteller. They would help like build his house. Like there was an exchange. So in this day and age where exchange is money, there should be an exchange for artists as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sean, so Brantford Presents Take 3 is coming up on May 22nd at 7 p.m.
Yes.
And you will be joining us.
I will, yeah.
Can I ask what you will be performing?
Well, I don't like to give away what I do. I haven't figured it out yet. But I am going to be doing probably some Shakespeare and a song.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So, do you have any social links that people can follow you at?
Yeah, they can go to on Facebook, look for Triple Threat Theater Company. That's my theater group. And then you can also just look up my name, Seanhauk on YouTube, and there's a bunch of stuff on YouTube.
Awesome.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Sean, so much for doing this today. We're looking forward to seeing you perform on the 22nd. So thank you for doing this interview.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for doing this, guys. This is great.